Быстрее, быстрее, блядь!
They thought speed would make them invincible. 4 motorcycles tearing through a forest at breakneck pace. Russia's desperate new tactic to punch holes in Ukraine's defenses. But what they didn't know was that high above, hidden among the clouds, Ukrainian drones were silently tracking their every move. This wasn't just another ambush, it was a stark demonstration of how drones have rewritten the rules of engagement. Because by the time the Russian riders heard the faint buzz overhead, it was already too late. Russia's high-speed gamble wasn't just about to fail, it was about to explode into chaos. In a move that stunned even seasoned military analysts, Russian commanders devised a high-risk, high-speed assault strategy using motorcycle units. The idea was simple yet daring. Small, nimble teams would punch swiftly through gaps in the frontline defenses, exploiting surprise and mobility. The motorcycles would evade traditional infantry traps, bypass entrenched positions, and wreak havoc deep behind enemy lines. But Ukraine's frontline intelligence was already one step ahead. Surveillance drones were airborne, infantry units primed, and thermal sensors scanned every inch of the battlefield. When the engines roared to life and Russian riders surged forward, they raced directly into a meticulously prepared trap. What they anticipated as a lightning-fast breakthrough quickly unraveled into an irreversible mistake. As Russian motorcycles burst from the tree line, weaving erratically across the open terrain, Ukrainian FPV drones launched silently from concealed positions, like a swarm of hornets awakened by an intrusion. The Russians never saw them coming. Within seconds, drones zeroed in, each one a precision-guided missile programmed to strike fast-moving targets. Explosions shattered the formation instantly. Flames erupted, metal twisted, and dirt sprayed skyward in violent plumes. In panic, some riders twisted throttles and veered wildly to escape the relentless drones. But chaos bred catastrophe. Bikes collided in mid-flight, wheels locked, riders crashed, and confusion spread like wildfire. Russia's unconventional tactic had turned into a disastrous failure, and yet the full horror of Ukraine's counterattack had only just begun. As the dust settled from the initial drone strikes, the forest transformed from Russia's chosen battleground into Ukraine's carefully prepared hunting ground. Ukrainian infantry advanced swiftly, coordinating closely with reconnaissance drones, scanning every shadow and trend. Each footstep tightened their grip, systematically cornering scattered Russian survivors. A small Russian squad, desperate to regain initiative, attempted a flanking maneuver under the cover of smoke and confusion, but their plan was doomed from the start. Invisible in the chaos, a Ukrainian kamikaze drone screamed through the treetops, zeroing in with ruthless precision. The blast sent the squad scattering in all directions. Wounded and stunned, their attempt at counterattack shattered instantly. Elsewhere, drone operators spotted a lone Russian soldier struggling frantically with his jammed machine gun. Poor weapon maintenance. A seemingly small oversight now turned fatal. Infrared signals locked onto his position, coordinates instantly transmitted back to Ukrainian artillery. Moments later, grenades rained down with pinpoint accuracy, obliterating his trench and ending his desperate fight. Meanwhile, hidden enemy bunkers and camouflage positions, once secure hideouts, became death traps under relentless drone bombardment. Bunker after bunker erupted into fireballs, their locations systematically revealed and eliminated through precise aerial surveillance. Ukrainian infantry pressed forward, each soldier advancing methodically, reclaiming the forest piece by piece from the enemy. But as victory seemed near, an unforeseen twist changed everything. A single Russian vehicle in panicked flight was allowed to slip through Ukrainian lines. Its escape was no oversight, but rather a calculated gamble that would yield dramatic consequences. Amid the chaos and gunfire, a Russian transport vehicle swerved wildly through the battlefield, frantically fleeing what appeared to be imminent destruction. Ukrainian commanders, rather than neutralizing the fleeing enemy immediately, made a calculated decision to let it escape. It wasn't mercy, it was a tactical masterstroke. Unknown to its desperate occupants, the escaping vehicle led Ukrainian intelligence straight to Russia's hidden operational command base at the forest's edge. This facility, carefully concealed among abandoned ruins, was the nerve center coordinating the motorcycle assault and planned reinforcements. But in a single careless retreat, Russian forces had unwittingly revealed their most critical asset. Within minutes, a Ukrainian MiG-29 fighter jet was scrambled, armed with precision-guided munitions. Piloted with ruthless efficiency, it soared high above the chaos, then dove in a devastating attack run. The released bomb cut through the air, impacting with surgical accuracy, instantly annihilating the hidden command post in a massive explosion. Concrete shattered, ammunition caches detonated, and thick clouds of smoke and fire engulfed the area. The Russian attempt at retreat had inadvertently turned into an intelligence catastrophe, exposing strategic vulnerabilities and providing Ukraine with critical insights. Yet, even as Ukraine celebrated this victory, a chilling new reality emerged. From captured enemy soldiers came urgent warnings. A much larger and more dangerous Russian force was already mobilizing nearby, poised to launch a devastating counterattack. The real battle, it seemed, was just beginning. As smoke cleared from the destroyed Russian command post, Ukrainian forces quickly moved to interrogate captured enemy soldiers. The intelligence extracted was chilling. Just beyond visual range, a larger, more dangerous Russian counterattack was mobilizing. Armored vehicles, infantry-packed trucks, and light tanks were already racing toward the forest perimeter, determined to retake lost ground and erase their recent humiliation. But Ukraine's advantage wasn't luck. It was preparation. Drone teams rapidly confirmed the intel, capturing visuals of enemy columns moving swiftly through surrounding territory. Ukrainian commanders wasted no time repositioning their forces, adjusting defensive angles and recalibrating artillery systems. Hidden under camouflage nets and entrenched deep in the forest, Ukrainian infantry waited with cold precision for Russia to enter their predetermined kill zone. As enemy vehicles and troops approached, unaware of the silent trap awaiting them, Ukrainian commanders issued the order. Radio silence gave way to thunderous artillery barrages raining down with surgical precision. The lead armored truck detonated instantly, blocking escape routes and creating a deadly bottleneck. Vehicles behind it crashed into one another, engines aflame, supply crates exploding in catastrophic chain reactions. Russian troops scattered, desperate and disorganized. Commanders shouted orders into radios only to discover Ukrainian electronic warfare teams had effectively jammed their signals, cutting them off from central command. In this communications blackout, panic consumed the Russian lines, their formations dissolving rapidly into chaos. Yet even as artillery shells shattered the enemy advance, Ukrainian infantry launched a simultaneous ground assault, surging from hidden positions. Enemy machine gun nests and fortified trenches fell in rapid succession as Ukrainian soldiers methodically cleared each obstacle, turning the forest once again into a hostile nightmare for Russian forces. But amid the escalating chaos, a single Russian T-72 tank managed to break through Ukrainian defenses. Escaping detection in the initial strike, it pushed deeper into Ukrainian territory, posing a direct threat to everything achieved so far. This lone armored behemoth had to be stopped, and fast. With Russian reinforcements rapidly approaching, Ukrainian units quickly repositioned, reshaping their defenses with methodical precision. What appeared to Russia as a vulnerable breakthrough was, in reality, a deadly trap designed hours earlier by Ukrainian strategists. Artillery units locked coordinates into their targeting systems, drone operators confirmed enemy positions, and infantry awaited orders from hidden vantage points. As the Russian column confidently entered the forest, convinced they were retaking lost territory, Ukraine's hidden artillery erupted into action. Precision-guided shells shattered the leading vehicle, instantly creating an impassable barrier. Panic rippled through the column as trucks swerved violently, slamming into one another and igniting explosive cargo. Flames and shrapnel turned the forest road into a devastating corridor of destruction. In an attempt to regain control, Russian commanders barked frantic orders into their radios, only to be met by static and silence. Ukrainian electronic warfare teams had jammed their communications with surgical efficiency. With no way to coordinate, Russian units collapsed into disarray, their strategic advantage evaporating with each passing second. Ukrainian infantry surged from concealment, systematically dismantling the enemy force. Trenches were stormed, machine gun nests neutralized, and isolated pockets of resistance crushed with ruthless speed. But amid the decisive victory, a lone Russian armored vehicle, a heavily armed BMP-2, burst forward defiantly, spraying automatic fire and attempting a suicidal breakthrough toward Ukrainian command posts. In a critical instant, a Ukrainian soldier rose swiftly from cover, firing a Javelin anti-tank missile with deadly precision. The missile sliced through the BMP's armor effortlessly, detonating it in a fiery explosion and sending its turret spinning skyward. Yet just as this threat was neutralized, intelligence indicated a second, even deadlier threat. A Russian T-72 tank had slipped unnoticed through the chaos, dangerously close to executing a devastating flank attack. As alarms rang out, Ukrainian drone operators quickly pinpointed the rogue Russian T-72, now penetrating deeper into the forest toward critical Ukrainian positions. Its crew aimed to exploit confusion, encircle Ukraine's defensive line, and shatter their carefully constructed defense from within. Ukrainian command immediately scrambled a rapid response hunter team, a formidable T-64 tank, 2 armored Humvees loaded with elite infantry, and drone units providing constant aerial surveillance. The forest erupted into a dramatic, high-stakes pursuit. Vehicles tore through dense foliage, exchanging fierce volleys of gunfire that splintered trees and churned earth into mud and debris. Each maneuver was guided by real-time drone feeds, providing a crucial advantage to Ukrainian forces. The Russian T-72, determined to evade capture, unleashed desperate barrages, firing wildly in hopes of disabling its pursuers. Yet Ukrainian coordination proved flawless, methodically cutting off escape routes and steering the T-72 directly into their trap. Finally, at a narrow woodland pass, the Ukrainian T-64 emerged head-on, blocking any hope of retreat. Russian crewmen tried to reverse, but there was no escape. 2 swift rounds from the T-64 immobilized the T-72, shattering its tracks and detonating internal ammunition. Smoke billowed from its damaged hull as 3 Russian crewmen emerged, surrendering without resistance. Amid the wreckage, Ukrainian soldiers uncovered a crucial find: encrypted Russian communication equipment. Its internal logs held startling revelations that hinted at a far larger coordinated offensive, one that, had Ukraine not acted decisively, could have dramatically reshaped the battlefield. In the smoldering aftermath, Ukrainian troops carefully examined the captured Russian communications equipment recovered from the wrecked T-72. Decrypting the data revealed alarming plans. The motorcycle assault was just the initial phase of a coordinated multi-wave Russian operation designed to break Ukrainian defenses completely and seize strategic territory. The operation's scale and ambition were staggering, but Ukrainian forces had inadvertently disrupted Russia's strategy from the outset with their decisive drone ambush and rapid response tactics, collapsing Russia's intricate offensive plan before it could fully materialize. Had Ukraine not acted swiftly and decisively, the Russian attack could have rewritten the strategic balance on the front lines, potentially altering the entire trajectory of the conflict. What emerged was more than just intel. It was a blueprint of Russia's evolving warfare strategy, highlighting a desperate shift toward rapid, unconventional tactics designed to overwhelm traditional defenses. But Ukraine's ability to anticipate and disrupt such moves underscored a profound transformation in battlefield dynamics, elevating drone technology, electronic warfare, and real-time intelligence into critical tools of modern warfare. This wasn't merely a battle, it was a profound lesson in the future of war. Fast, precise, and ruthlessly effective Ukraine's drone warfare capability has proven itself to be a decisive advantage, fundamentally rewriting the rules of engagement. Russia's innovative yet reckless gamble not only failed spectacularly, but inadvertently exposed their strategic vulnerabilities to Ukrainian intelligence and countermeasures. Yet, curiously, major international news outlets have yet to report fully on this significant clash, cautiously awaiting official confirmation and further evidence before breaking the story. The global silence underscores the complexity and uncertainty of modern warfare reporting, but it also emphasizes how critical hidden battles can redefine conflicts without ever appearing on the front page. While the world waits, one truth remains clear: Russia will undoubtedly recalibrate, regroup, and try again, likely with even greater resolve and newer strategies. And when they do, Ukraine's defenders will be watching closely from the skies, ready to counter swiftly, decisively, and with ruthless precision. Because in this war, victory belongs not just to strength, but to agility, adaptability, and innovation.